books jumped to the front of my TBR. Books that as soon as I got a copy of it or learned about the book, I pretty much immediately read it and threw out my TBR. Beginning of the year, my friend Maddie read this and was like, Nicole, you would love this. And I was like, I think I would love it. And immediately, this copy is from my coworker who gave it to me very kindly, but I even tabbed it. Finished it, I think, in 2 days. Sobbed. Everything about this book, like, is everything to me. Probably one of my favorite books of all time. This is a book I actually haven't finished. It's a literary fiction, which is not something I typically read. I learned about this book from Destiny on, I think, a YouTube video first. I don't remember which one. As soon as I learned about this book, I did, in fact, start it. I think pretty shortly after watching the video by Destiny. And although I did not have a copy until recently, absolutely devoured it on audiobook. Like I said, did not finish it yet. So the next two are both my last two reads, which is Book Lovers. The reason the Book Lovers jumped in front of my TBR is because I read Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan and devoured that in a day because of my 24-hour readathon, which I filmed. You can watch it on my YouTube. But I did read that in a day, which led me to my Summer Romance era, which is where I picked up this. Absolutely devoured this. This took me probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks to get through. I did tab it, which I felt like was a good pace for this, only because I was just on vacation and whatever. But it was so much fun. Both of these are 5 stars, by the way. So you can see why they jumped to the front of my TBR, because they like kind of deserve it. Next one is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. The reason this jumped to the front of my TBR is because I've had this on my TBR for a long time and had a little certificate to a local bookstore. Finally decided to cash it in after like having it forever. I bought this book and then the next day I started it. Right after I finished Summer Romance, I picked this up. I read this in maybe like a week. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like super quick. Maybe a little less than a week. But this was like a 4.5 star for me. So I'm definitely itching to pick up another one of her books. I think I'm gonna read The Nightingale or The Women next. I don't know. I have a couple other of her books, but now those are gonna jump to the front of my TBR because this one was so good. I've had The Nightingale for like ever, but it's been on my TBR, simmering in the back of my TBR. Now it's gonna come to the forefront now that I've read this. So those are the books that jumped the line because I was genuinely just that excited to read them. Ultimately, if I like the book, I was gonna read it either way, so there's no reason for me to wait to read it if I know I'm gonna like it. And all of these books delivered on that. I knew I was gonna like them, and so I picked them up immediately, and I was right. So I think it's worth it. But let me know yours below, because I feel like everyone has at least a few. And they're usually books that you love, so prove me wrong in the comments.